Funding for the production of Public Square provided by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, working to improve the lives of vulnerable children.
I wanted to kill myself. I've tried in 2nd grade, I've tried 4th grade, 5th grade, and again in 6th grade. Things just got worse. Everybody was calling me the crazy girl.
What's very clear is we all have mental illness in our families. We don't talk about it.
Let's teach our kids that it's okay to feel bad, but then talk about feeling bad, and then what do you do to feel better?
You have to walk through the office in order to get to our school-based health center. It's like pretty much dead man walking. As soon as you walk down that hallway, judgment.
We need preventative care instead of preventative care, and I think we get preventative care with mass shootings because now we're trying to figure it out after the horribleness has already taken place.
You know, this is now on the national table for discussion, right? Unfortunately, because of these shooting tragedies. Could something good happen out of this? Welcome to Public Square, where civic dialogue takes center stage.
As we all know, half of all mental illnesses have their onset by the age of 14. And at the same time, 1 in 5 kids may have a mental health issue at any point in time.
Mass shootings committed by young people have filled the headlines over the last year. These tragedies, for good or ill, have focused renewed attention on youth mental health. The statistics are disturbing. About 13% of youth live with a serious mental illness, but only 20% of those kids get the treatment they need. Many end up in the juvenile justice system. So should we change how we intervene in children's lives before problems become crises? Today on Public Square, we'll hear from young people who have struggled with mental health issues, as well as school counselors, administrators, and public health experts. Then we'll hear from Yolanda Cordova, Director of the Office of School and Adolescent Health with the Department of Health, and Diana McWilliams, Acting CEO of the State Behavioral Health Collaborative. But first, one of the most difficult things facing youth who need help is stigma. We visit a charter high school in Albuquerque that is working to overcome that prejudice.
When I was a little bit younger, I had a lot of problems. There were a lot of things going on, and I used to hurt myself pretty bad. I always felt like if I did ask someone to help me, I was going to get in trouble.
I harmed myself so nobody else felt my pain, and it was only me. And it was really hard telling other people, and it's really uncomfortable to talk about.
Mental health is one of the most significant issues we face as a society. Unfortunately, it carries a lot of stigma. That's especially true for young people. But students at the Media Arts Collaborative Charter School are tackling the problem by talking about it. On camera.
Rolling. Hi, this is a Max moment. Today we're going to be talking about the stigma of mental illness.
We've talked about homeless people, how a lot of people think they're crazy, and how we should definitely not think they're crazy. We've also talked about teen suicide and depression.
Whenever I was younger, I actually used to cut myself.
It's a good idea for other kids to talk to other kids about this situation, because most kids our age are more understanding about this than some parents.
They can see that somebody else maybe experienced the same thing, that someone else maybe did do something about it, told a professional, told an adult, and were able to get help. And so again, they're not isolated. I think the biggest part of mental illness is the isolation.
The message really has to be devised by that age group if it's going to be received appropriately by that age group.
At the bare minimum, attempt to treat the cause. Don't just push it to the side. At least give it a shot to treat it. And it just seems to me like we're not making an effort as a country to make changes necessary to treat mental illness.
I would agree with that.
It's clear that they're not afraid to talk about it. It's also clear that they understand that they would rather hear messages from their own peer group than from an adult telling them. Media is actually being blamed for a lot of what's going on here. and right or wrong. It's being blamed for acts of violence, it's being blamed for a lot of the ills in society. If that's true, it should also be able to be used to help address those problems. And so that's one of the things that we're trying to do.
The series of videos are being created in collaboration with the New Mexico Family Network.
We did do some training so that they would have some basic knowledge about, what is the latest thing that scientists are saying, that researchers are saying about mental health and behavioral health. So we gave them a framework, but then they talked about it from their own experience.
And then the fact that 1/2 of lifetime cases of mental illness begin at age 14. Well, mine actually started earlier than that. So I think, it doesn't just start at
14. Like, it could start from like any age, even adults and like older people.
14 is like a real transitional age for a lot of people, So when you throw mental illness in there, it's really, really difficult for a lot of people to cope with changes and new things, and also this pain that they're experiencing, whatever it may be,
Frequently these kids are bullied by others because other kids can see that they're behaving differently. When a child finds out that they have a diagnosis and that there is a real reason based in their bodies, they're not at fault for it, they have such a great sense of relief to know that there is a reason. Because frequently inside, they feel like they're possessed, that they're somehow deeply evil.
The plan is to make the videos available to schools statewide as part of mental health toolkits.
We feel that this media, because it's the way that the youth communicate with each other, having those small video clips will be more impactful than just reading it in a book, because they can see, here's some other person who's around my age talking about it, and it will reach them, I think, in a deeper way. I suffered from depression, and I was also diagnosed as bipolar by the time I was in 6th grade. I've been a victim of a lot of different things, and I'd really want to come here and I want to see what this dialogue would be about and how my input could possibly help change some things.
We are one of the poorest states in the country. So is it going to get a lot worse than it currently is? There's the potential for that, but we're already close to the bottom of the heap on so many things that we really need to start facing these problems directly and putting resources there.
If we don't get better screenings put in place for children, then I think what's going to happen is that more children are going to be falling through the cracks. And we're going to see more dropouts. We're going to see more children that aren't getting the help and education that they need, which hurts them later on down the life for jobs or even personal relationships.
My hopes in our discussion is that we can provide support and education for many of our families, for our schools, our policymakers, to continue to expand these early intervention efforts so we can wrap supports and services around kids with early signs of serious illness and help them continue to be effective, productive citizens, stay in school, do the jobs they want to do, and save our state a lot of money at the same time.